Why Not Be Reckless, aka Why Not Be Kaz here, one of the HCS commentators, analysts, and grassroots content creators. We have another HCS report where today we're going to be talking about the new kids on the block while breaking down last weekend's tournament. It was a major qualifier, I guess the open qualifier for our Dallas event. It's going to be at DreamHack, which is going to be so sick. Can't wait for that. If you like this type of content, don't forget to like, subscribe, interact with the video with the comment down below. The algorithm pushes it to more people that might enjoy this type of content, so really do appreciate that. Plus, we're giving away big money to one lucky subscriber that comments down below. We're giving away $1 to one lucky subscriber that comments down below. Let's get right into it. Again, major qualifier. Got to find out who's going to DreamHack Dallas, and obviously the top two are going to automatically qualify, but then based off of points after that, we're going to end up filling up the pools. I won't talk too much about the pools. We'll just kind of focus on what happened in this actual tournament itself. We'll save the pool play talks for ultimately another day, but hop right into it. Cloud9 versus the new kids right off the rip. Cloud9, in case you forgot, Boo Boo Dubu, Saber, Deceptify, and the newly signed Lethal. Yes, it is official. Lethal has been signed to Cloud9. Cloud9, who are on a upward trend. Think back to Arlington, where with Manny, who was on the previous squad, just went toe-to-toe with SSG, brought them into a Game 5 late into a Saturday night, and were, a few kills away from ultimately making it into Championship Sunday. That is absolutely crazy. They pushed SSG to the limits, and it immediately got me thinking, why would you want to make a change for that? But Manny, who rumors say decided to leave the roster to join TSM, not actually dropped from the roster. Now on that TSM roster, they had an empty spot, and you're bringing Lethal, one of the greatest Halo players of all time. Sounds like a pretty good move to me. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, you have Incognito, who, with the roster media that was going down, we're just trying to figure out what they could do. They were working their different options with different teams. You have Descended, who was on that infamous roster, who weren't bad at Arlington, but with Lethal going to Cloud9 and other players going different directions, Descended finds a new home with Incognito. Precision dropped ultimately from that complexity roster. I was complex that move, to be honest with you. I always thought Precision was absolutely fantastic, and although 2025 wasn't exactly kind to complexity, I didn't think it was Precision's fault. So when it happened, I was really surprised. But ultimately, Precision finds a new home, and then Piggy and Jackson, who were on Luminosity, had the number 5 seed ultimately going into LAN on Arlington, but weren't able to win a single series, ended up in top 16. One of the biggest kind of drop-offs that we've seen from a top seed all the way down to the bottom seed. The question then became, would they have even made it out of open bracket, people were thinking. But newly forming this roster, the roster looked damn good, and they were even able to 3-1 an extremely good Cloud9. That was huge for Incognito. In the other winners bracket semifinals match to find out who's going to make it into the winners finals, you had two favorites going at it in GenG and TSM. Throughout all the roster mania that went down, GenG actually staying the same. Chris Common, who Jackson gave him huge credit during one of the interviews, saying that Chris Common taught him so much on how to play the game properly. Gotta give a shout out to Chris Common. King, Nick, and Ryan, they've been together since the United days. Ended up splitting up, and it wasn't even all that pretty, but back together and looking good. And of course, you have Breaking Shot, also dropped from that complexity roster at one point in time, but reuniting Common and Breaking Shot is absolutely huge. On the other side, you probably see this roster time and time again. They've gone by Funk 4, they've gone by KCP, they've gone by many names. Native Red, if you remember that, Batalik, Druck, Manny, and Soulsnipe. That's right, the power of friendship is back, and it looks good with the 3-0 against GenG. Remember, GenG pretty damn good at Arlington. TSM obviously struggled a bit, but with a big 3-0 sweep on GenG, knocking them down to the lower bracket, TSM propelled themselves into the winners bracket finals, where eventually you have Incognito and TSM duking it out, and it's going to go down to the wire. No, it was a 3-0 sweep. Incognito coming in seemingly out of nowhere and making their presence known immediately. A 3-0 from Incognito is crazy. TSM down to the lower bracket. If they would have want to make it back to the grand finals, they'd have to win one more series before that happened. But would it? Go down to the lower bracket, and we're gonna go down to what this might be quarterfinals right now. GenG and One. We talked about the GenG roster, the One roster, also picking up some of the pieces that were left behind. You got Hush that was also dropped from Complexity. You have Collect and Ezo, who were part of that infamous roster alongside Lethal, who were looking for a new home, and then Mortally, also a part of that Luminosity roster that didn't exactly finish where they wanted to. And maybe the same here for this tournament. I mean, it was a mix-up squad kind of brought together, you know, out of nowhere. Obviously, give them some time to scrim and get better, and we could see some good things out of them. I think they made it deep in this tournament, but something tells me they can make it even further. But GenG are going to hand them the 3-1 to advance forward. On the other side of that bracket, you have Cloud9 and Complexity. We've been talking about the players left off of Complexity. Let's talk about Complexity, who got Spartan, that mother freaking dog. Advocacy, the former Rainbow Six stud, comes over to Halo. He was a part of Luminosity as well. Again, underperforming on land, but now coming back with Complexity is huge. Cherish, former Apex player, dropped from that TSM roster. He ends up joining Complexity, and then Mental, he was also actually dropped from TSM early in the season. Was a part of that Shopify Rebellion roster from last year, who were phenomenal. Well, Mental will join Complexity alongside Spartan, but they would also get 3-0'd. I said it before, Cloud9 are really good, and they showed it against Complexity. 3-0 sweep. They advanced forward to go up against GenG. They would also 3-0 GenG on their way to the elimination bracket finals, where you think maybe if there's any team that could come out with the win, maybe, just maybe, it would be TSM, but no, even Cloud9 making a deep run through the lower bracket were knocked down here by the team that made it into the grand finals through the winner's side. Well, they make a deep run through lower. They take out TSM, make it into the grand finals, and have hopes to maybe get the bracket reset. But if you were watching, you would know that although they took it to a game 5 in the first series, and although it looked like Cloud9 were going to pull off a bracket reset because they were looking quite diffy, Incognito were just an entirely different beast. Incognito, the new squad coming out of nowhere, they put in the work. It simply shows they come out with the 3-2 win in the game 5 to become your champions. And as it says on the title of the stream, and maybe the title of the YouTube video, New Kids on the Block, you better watch out, because the way the Incognito were playing was not just trying to go at the Cloud9s, the TSMs, and all of them, but the phases, the SSGs, the optics, the Shopify Rebellions, the way Incognito were looking, they might give those teams a run for their money as well. And maybe we have a new squad that'll be contending for the top 4 and above. Maybe, just maybe. And by the way, got to give a huge shout out to Precision, bro. That man, he and Descendant were flying, slaying out. Jackson and Piggy just playing a great support, dirty work role. I just want to give, I want to give Precision his flowers as the main slayer, but this team entirely was just looking fantastic during the event, and I was extremely impressed. Incognito, I really hope you guys stay together. I really hope you guys go to Dallas and show off your freaking ass and show everybody what you guys are made of. But until then, this was your HCS report. And if you like this type of content, make sure, again, you like, subscribe, comment down below. The algorithm pushes it to more people that may enjoy this type of content if you interact with it in some shape or form. Plus, we're giving one lucky subscriber big money, $1. One lucky subscriber who comments down below. And I'll catch you guys next time. Out. Buy the merch.